A quick note before the video begins. If you are Smugalana or any other reactor reacting to this, then it should be noted that this video has no visual to it. This is an audio experience only, mainly because I cannot afford to do the visuals. That's really all I gotta say, so enjoy the video. Welcome to another what if type of video, I guess. I really don't know how I'm gonna format these types of videos, so that's why I'm going back to an old format. Now, the last time I did this, it was with another independent VTuber. So now we are doing another VTuber anime concept. This time we are using Smugalana. Now, just like with the last one, I went on VTuber Wiki just to get an idea on what I can use. And I will say, Smugalana did not have a lot. Granted, she had more than the last time I did this, but she had not a lot for me to go with. But however, there was something that I was able to do that is kind of tied to real life, but it's nothing really too bad. It's not like if I were to make something with Doki Bird, so yeah. Anyways, let's get right on into it. So, the format for this Smugalana anime will be a 6-episode mini anime, about 15 minutes at max per episode. It will most likely be at average below 10 minutes. This will take place in a small town outside of a city in a modern day. The premise that I have for this would be Smugalana is seen as twins, Smugga and Lana, representing both her frost model and her fire model respectively. And the conflict will mainly be, like I said, based off of real life, when she had this hater try to accuse her of being a groomer or some shit like that. I have broken down how each episode would have gone with this premise in mind, so let's get right on into it. Episode 1 would have been your normal introduction anime, where we would get a feel for the type of world that we in. Like I said, we would see that we are in a small town just outside of the big city in modern time. We would see Smugalana in her frost form, which I would refer to as Smugga, and the people around her are familiar with her, and it is through these people where we see that there is a narrative that they are twins, Smugga and Lana. We would see that they would be friendly with each other and that she tends to bring some joy in some of the people there, whether it's just by physically playing with some of the kids there, joking around with some of the more teen to adults, or being a nice girl helping out older people whenever she can. And that's basically how episode 1 would start out. Episode 2 will be more into that, where we get a more in-depth look on how Smugalana's life in that town is. We would follow Smugalana in her fire form, who I will refer to as Lana. Like in the last one, we will still see her hanging out with the various townsfolk, and like I said, we would get more in-depth on how she interacts with these people. To be more in-depth, she would play more games with kids, either hanging out in the park with them, playing hide and seek, some stuff like that. With some of the more teenage to adults, probably just like pull pranks or just fuck around with each other, bullying each other, stuff like that. It's normally innocent for fun. Nothing too harmful, and nothing that really crosses a line. And as for adults, she would help them with anything that she can, whether it just be, picking something up for them or helping them, like crossing a street or stuff like that. It's not really something that she will go out of her way to do, like she's not actively searching for it. But if they cross her path, she might end up asking. It is closer to the end of this episode where we would see the main antagonist of this mini anime. Someone in town doesn't really like her. We don't really see what they are planning, but we know that they do not like her. So it would end with them starting to scheme. Episode 3 would mainly focus on the hater actually. We will follow the hater and see many reasons why they do not like Smugga and Lana. Most of the reasoning are opinion based and based on correlation, not causation. For example, we would see a business having to shut down for a day or two due to an equipment malfunctioning after Smugga or Lana helped them. We would see as they go around town trying to convince people to be on their side. We would only see the successful persuasion of the townsfolk. And because we're only focusing with the hater and his successes, by the end of the episode, we would see Smugga being rejected service from one of the local businesses. Episode 4 would actually be a flashback episode where we would see a much smaller and cuter version of Smugalana as a kid. The flashback will cut back and forth between the Frost and Fire model to try to keep the illusion that they are twins. To keep the illusion as well, it would also give a false narrative that these twins did not connect until they met as an adult, as evidenced by some of the dialogue from the townsfolk from the first 2 episodes. Throughout the flashback, we would explore their childhood, and we would see that she mainly grew up alone. She would watch the humans from a distance. We would see that she desired to have a connection with people, and because of this desire, she would teach herself some various human activities like playing guitar. The flashback would end when it fades back to Lana sitting on top of a tree, watching the town like how she did when she was a kid. A random person would call out to her, which catches her attention. When she sees who it is, she sees one of the town folks calling up to her. She smiles and jumps out of the tree, which would end the episode. Episode 5, we would once again follow the hater as they are walking around town. They are confident and glad that he managed to drive away Smugalana, but he is ultimately surprised when he sees some of the townsfolk hanging out with Smugga, just happily interacting like it's just any normal day. This enrages the hater, and he just goes flying off the handle on a rant about Smugga and how she and her kind should not be here, basically getting racist at this point. Because of all this, we would see that despite seemingly having success in episode 3, it was only because we focused on him that showed the success. In reality, it failed horribly. The episode would end with Smugga at home, and it is revealed that Smugga and Lana were actually the same person. Episode 6, the last episode, we would just follow Smugalana the entire time, which because now we're no longer under the illusion that they are twins, I will be going by the full name. So we will follow Smugalana throughout the whole day as we see more how she handles herself in real life. Just like in her past, she is mainly by herself, but unlike her past, she is more happy and content. She is no longer really lonely despite being by herself. In fact, her home even reflects this, as most of the stuff in her house shows her connection with humans, which shows with some things like posters or music, games, or heck, even in the style of her house, it will show inspiration from humans. We would see more of the world that she would go in and see that she is a spirit type of being. The world that Smugalana is from, the best comparison I can give is Gensokyo from Toho, and we'll see how she interacts with some of the normal people in her world. We would even get cameos from other VTubers that would be in the background. For example, we would see like Iron Mouse or Rosie the cow VTuber in the background. We won't really interact with them, but that's really the only appearance these types of VTubers would have, only be a background character. Anyways, throughout this, we would see that she is a rare type of spirit. She is an elemental fox. Now, normally elemental fox only have one element, but Smugalana is an extremely rare type. She is infused with not just 2 elements, but 2 opposite elements. And because of this, she can actually shift back and forth between the 2. And this really is where the mini anime would end. So what did you think? Like I said, I didn't really have much to work with. I just mainly pulled from that I mainly pulled from that hater that was trying to cancel her, so that's really what I based it off of. I tried whatever left I had. I used whatever I had in that was given to me in the VTuber wiki, and I could not find anything else besides the VTuber wiki. So yeah, if there's anything else that I am missing, then that's too bad. Unless it's something that I completely misunderstood, like for example, like this is another one I'm working on, like with Darling Straubs, I'm pretty sure I misunderstood her lore. So unless it's something like that, I am not going to rewrite it. That's really all I gotta say. Smugalana, if you're watching this, then cool. That's really all I gotta say. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you later on whatever I make. Bye.